You made 400 off that?
Yeah, I'm
and you sell them for $2.
Yeah, and I got
So let's count them. Let's count. It ain't nothing. It ain't even $100.
So I woke up this morning to a very interesting clip that is going somewhat viral on the internet that I felt like would make a great opportunity to make a video for this channel. And of course, we're on the grind to 100,000 subscribers on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to help us reach that goal. And of course, leaving a like on this video will go a very long way. So for those of you guys that don't know who DaBaby is, he is a rapper that is actually, in my opinion, in terms of, at least in the realm of business, is absolutely crushing it as a rapper. Whether you like his music or don't like his music, you have to admit that this man knows how to grow his brand primarily off of, I don't know, being so memeable. You guys remember a couple months ago where DaBaby memes were just taking over the internet, but love him or hate him, you have to admit that he is successful. Now, what's really interesting is a video just got posted where DaBaby gets approached by these two kids. So the video starts with him opening the door on these two kids. The two kids seem really happy to see him and clearly know who he is. The kids then explain to DaBaby that they're trying to sell Skittles for $2 a pop. DaBaby then takes a look at the box and then asks them how much they want for the entire box of Skittles. One of the kids quickly retorts that he wants at least $200. And at that point, DaBaby decides to survey the entire box and does a quick estimate and says that there's no way that they have 100 Skittles and there's no way that they're going to get $200 for the entire box. I have to admit it, the kids are actually very persistent and don't seem to want to budge on their price, but DaBaby really goes in quickly to school them on the fact that their price point is fairly illogical to say the least. After a while, DaBaby explains to them why their price point makes no sense at all and ends up paying them $2 for some Skittles. He then posts how these two kids blew their opportunity, but also encouraged them to keep hustling. And I guess the reason I'm making this video is, well, this video is actually fairly controversial because there's two sides that most people on Twitter and Instagram are taking. The first one being that how could DaBaby, who is doing so well, by the way, he is like, I know there's a lot of people hating on him, but you can't take away the fact that this guy is absolutely crushing it in terms of growing his business and growing his brand. He has an estimated net worth of $5 million, which by some people's standards is a lot of money, and by other people's standards, I guess isn't as much money, but definitely is crushing it more than the average dude. So how could a guy that sees two little kids coming up to him, trying to do their best to make money without selling drugs, without being involved in crime, without trying to rob anyone, how could DaBaby not try to help them out? At the same time, there is another approach being taken to this, which is why should DaBaby help them out? It's not necessarily his personal responsibility. Just because these two kids are hustling and are trying to make an honest living doesn't necessarily mean that DaBaby has to give them $200 or whatever they're asking for just because he could afford it. Clearly, these kids aren't really living their best life if they're selling $2 candy on the street. So it would have been nice for DaBaby to throw them a bone. But at the same time, I do agree that it's not DaBaby's responsibility because I'm sure there are plenty of individuals that are in an unfortunate situation like this. And I guess the main reason why DaBaby didn't help them is because, well, these kids try to rip him off. And I guess maybe his ego and maybe his pride took a little bit of a hit as a result of these two kids trying to rip him off. And as a result, he said, okay, I am not going to pay them $200 because he wanted to win. I guess if the kids would have done it again, they would have told him the truth that they have no idea how much they have, but we could count it, or you could just guess how much there is in it and give them an offer, and then they will sell the entire box of candy to him for that price that they wanted. Because at the end of the day, they could have sold all of the candy right then and there if they were a little bit more honest, and then they could have relaxed for the rest of the day. And I think had they had done that, DaBaby probably would have bought it for the price that they wanted. I'm assuming, just based off of my assessment of things, just based off of me looking at it, It looks like there's like 30 Skittles in there, maybe combined, maybe 35. Maybe DaBaby could have given him $75 or $100 if he was feeling generous. Maybe if they were a little bit more honest, that honesty would have been rewarded, but who's to say?
You made 400 off that?
Yeah, I'm
and you sell them for $2.
Yeah, and I got for
So let's count it. Let's count it.
It's 34 times.
Exactly. What's 34 times 2, my boy? It ain't 200.
That's 2.
It ain't, It ain't 2 nothing. It ain't even $100.
Oh, yeah, that ain't $100, bro.
$68. What about you?
I'm making
2
times 2, bro.
See, all right, see, look, see. You give me 1, 2. What, they $2 a piece? $1 each, I ain't bet. You gotta use your head, man. You trying to play, man. I was gonna bless you anyway. You'd have got the 200. Now you got $2. Y'all be good. Look, they pissed. Look, they got me fucked up.
At the end of the day, they failed at finessing DaBaby, and at the end of the day, they took a risk and it didn't pay off. They would have potentially made a lot of money, but that's not necessarily what ended up happening here. But let me know what you guys think about this video, because I found it very interesting. You could really go either way in this scenario. Should DaBaby have given them $200 just because they were a little bit more needy than the average kid? Do you think he did a good job by teaching them a lesson and not giving them free handouts? Or do you think that these kids really could have used the money that DaBaby had and they were entitled to some money because of DaBaby's success? I like to hear what you guys have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.